To begin, there are things I have to say about Mary Shelley.
The first thing I want to say about Mary Shelley is that after her mother had her mother was Mary Wollstonecraft, who wrote the book In Vindication of Women's Rights. And she sadly died 11 days after Mary Shelley was born. And Mary Shelley was sent right away to a wet nurse, like in the country. So Mary Wollstonecraft had, her breasts were full of milk, and in order to give her some relief and give her some peace while she was actually dying of the infection after the birth, they actually brought puppies in, and puppies actually milked at her breast to give her some relief, and she was so grateful for this. And supposedly, rather than bearing it and being miserable about it, she was really filled with joy about it. And I always think of that when I think about Mary Shelley. A few other things that I want to say about Mary Shelley. The thing that I really think about is when the poet Shelley started to come and visit Mary Shelley, he would sneak into her father's bookshop, and they would meet in the back room of the bookshop. And Mary Shelley, the few people that spied them during this period said Mary Shelley wore a lot of plaid skirts and little sweaters, and so she was meeting with all of his hair and everything. And she was really like a schoolgirl. I think she was 12 years younger than Shelley. So I also like to think of that, the meeting in the back of the book store, these clandestine meetings. Mary Shelley's father was the man that invented the term anarchism. He was actually an anarchist, and as we know, her mother was a feminist. So she came from a very extremely intellectual family, and she felt very strongly that this was her birthright, this idea of passion and female rights, and that was part of the reason that she decided to run away with Shelley. It wasn't just that she loved him and she was 16 and she was so madly in love. It was also a very willful, and conscious decision, like a philosophical decision, that this is how she wanted to raise her, to live her life. Unfortunately, her father, like a lot of fathers, really wanted her to do what he said, not follow the way that he had lived. So he was furious that she had run away. And Mary Shelley continually read her mother's work and her father's work while she was on the run with Shelley, trying to figure out why the thing that she had done was so upsetting to her father, because she couldn't really figure it out, because she had read these books and she thought that this is what he thought life was about, her father. And so I always think of that as well, poor Mary Shelley, who had done this big act that she thought her family was going to embrace, and how she was really shunned. She was really shunned by her family. Let's see, the other things I like to think about Mary Shelley is, one of the reasons I really like her is I feel like she's someone who had a lot of regrets in her life. I mean, her life is not like a perfect whole. She ran away with Shelley. She was in some ways ostracized because of that. She, of course, wrote this incredible book, Frankenstein, which is about motherlessness. I feel like Frankenstein is about both how lack of parenting makes you into a monster, and then also how the mother is sort of a monster. The idea of the mother is a monster.
Part 2. We need some matches.
Oh no!
What? This name.
Part 2, The Monster.